I don't know exactly to this day what exactly he saw or heard, but they couldn't get him off the ship fast enough.
I just heard something like history here. That was bizarre.
That is common for a lot of the batteries to go out and equipment to malfunction.
Dude, something just blew right on the top of my head.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And that's the only time anything like that's ever happened to me. And I gotta be honest and say that, you know, I would be perfectly content if it never happened to me again.
Where the is he? This got me a little apprehensive. Steve. Hey, Steve.
I got chills, dude. That sounded just like archers.
I swear something just now touched the back of my leg. It felt like something just touched the back of my leg. Have you ever been touched in here?
What was that? Did you hear that?
I heard something.
I don't know, for some reason I'm like on edge. I don't have an explanation for how that could be possible. That is probably one of the craziest things we've had happen.
Our quest today has actually brought us here to Quincy, Massachusetts, to the USS Salem. Now, the USS Salem was commissioned in 1943, but she was laid down 4th of July, 1945, and served upwards of 10 years between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the reason we're here tonight is TAPS investigated here some time ago, and we're actually hoping to tie into some of that same energy that they did. And if not, maybe some newer names, some newer entities might actually come through for us. So we're definitely hoping to see if some of that same energy from the crew that served here still lingers.
I definitely believe that the USS Salem is a haunted ship. We had one group of like 3 or 4 guys, and they brought this one guy with them. They were like in the early 20s. And this guy came down the corridor and he was like, "Where do we get off the ship, please?" This guy was terrified. I don't know exactly to this day what exactly he saw or heard, but they couldn't get him off the ship fast enough.
I often tell people I would be very, very surprised if there was another naval ship in history that had seen as much death as Salem had without seeing any combat. I mean, it's really kind of crazy when you think about it. She spent the majority of her service in the Mediterranean as the flagship of the Navy 6th Fleet, back and forth between France, Greece, and Boston, which was her home port. The vast majority of the entities remaining aboard the ship are remnants of the Ionian earthquake in 1953. While she was in the Mediterranean with the 6th Fleet, there was a very bad earthquake on the Ionian Islands, which are off the coast of Greece, as I said. And the facilities were pretty badly damaged. So the Salem basically was the hospital. She was there for about 4 days, and I don't think they did much of a job in terms of counting, but the estimate is that about 70 people died aboard the ship as a result of injuries sustained during the earthquake.
There was a gun crew from another destroyer, and target practice, and apparently the thing blew up. I guess from what I understand, they loaded the gun, forgot they loaded the gun, and reloaded it. And those people all came on the ship. A couple of them passed away.
There were about 13 babies born on the ship, so it's not uncommon in the surgical room to hear a woman in pain, like maybe in birthing pain, or a baby crying. There is a gentleman way in the after end of the ship, primarily in the crew's mess area, who we feel is a semi-high ranking, and by that I mean enlisted, so a chief petty officer, maybe a cook, and he feels as though he's kind of a keeper of the ship to some degree. He's very defensive. He gets very angry when people disrespect the ship and things of that nature.
It's a strong energy, but it's different.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yes, it is. Steve and I are here kind of scouting around for some locations for abandonment. And a lot of exploring to do in here. It's just very easy to get turned around.
A few times.
Already. So right now, this is what they call a berthing room for the crew.
This room just came from another room with identical, like, canvas bunks, racks. I'm sure. I think at least that's what we call them in the Air Force.
All of our equipment was going off at the same time, all across the board. And at the same time, we had phantom running above us that started from one end of the room and stopped above our heads. I've definitely seen shadow figures. There's a little girl named Lucy that I hear her humming and singing to herself, and that's more of a regular thing. A shadow person, more recently, a child shadow figure as well that other people have seen as well, and disembodied voices and footsteps and bangings and knocks.
You know, when I first came aboard the ship, I came aboard as a guide, not a paranormal guide. And when somebody told me the ship was haunted, I thought, yeah, sure it is. And I started spending a little bit of time here and having no clue what I was doing. I went back to the third mess and I very loudly yelled that I heard this guy back there was a sailor, and I heard he was a tough guy, and that I was a tougher guy than he ever was, dead, alive, or anywhere in the middle. And sailor to sailor, if he had something, he ought to just bring it on and see what happened. And nothing happened. About a year later, I was back there with some investigators, and there was a young woman back there, a medium, who said, yeah, there's a guy here, and he's laughing at us, but he hates you. And I said, what did you say? And she said, yeah, he hates you. He said you disrespected him, and he thinks nothing of you. And what I remember about that night was that next thing I know, she was kind of punching me on the arm. And I said, what are you doing? She said, are you all right? I said, sure. She said, look at your watch. And it had been about 20 minutes that I had just been kind of standing there. And I actually had a little bit of blood on my palms because I had been making fists so tight that my nails dug into my palms. And that's the only time anything like that's ever happened to me. And I gotta be honest and say that, you know, I would be perfectly content if it never happened to me again.
Steve? Hey, Steve. So I've been separated from Steve for a little bit. It's so easy, like we said earlier, to get turned around and kind of separated and lost in here. It's crazy. It's just truly a labyrinth. So many different ways to go. So many different. Oh, wow. Okay. So this looks like surgery table here. Very dark as well. Hey, Steve. Steve?
We were outside the wardroom is the dentist office. The cat ball went off. Then the K2 went off. Then the REM pod. Then it was going off answering questions. Will you light this up? And it would light up. Will you light this up? And then all of a sudden her ovulus bursts out, elemental.
You know, we're learning things every day. We've become aware this past year of what we think may be an inhuman entity on the ship. That some of the entities, some of the spirits, now that we've started asking questions kind of in that direction, some of the spirits have told us that they're afraid to talk about him.
Our last experience in the wardroom as a group before we winterized the ship and shut down was when the Ovilus had said, "Enter beast." And we all kind of just sat there really still. And I had asked, "What are your intentions?" And when it said murder and all of the cat balls going off, all of the equipment going off, it definitely got us out the door. What I think about that or how I feel about it, do I feel that there's something demonic on the ship? I don't. I think there is something that tries to come off as that, like tries to scare you, but then nothing seems to happen. So no, I do find it to just be a lot of shadow figures and spirits.
Yeah, it's flickering. That light just went on.
The light just went off behind you.
I'm hearing all kinds of noises in this room here.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something.
It was flickering?
It flickered once and then it went off.
Where's it at?
What, you mean the
Right down
CNC
there.
or
Like directly behind
The
her.
light right behind the wall here.
what's off?
It flickered once. I caught my attention, and now it just went off.
That is common
Yeah.
for a lot of the batteries to go out and equipment to malfunction.
And see, it's that. I mean, that's a relatively new, fresh battery.
I think there is something that tries to come off as that, like tries to scare you, but then nothing seems to happen. So no, I do find it to just be a lot of shadow figures and spirits.
What were we talking about when that happened? Do you remember?
She was talking about she was talking about different types of the entities on here, the rumors of elementals, but she was specifically talking about the entity that tries to come off as being aggressive.
That's weird that died right as soon as that happened.
That's what I told her. Yeah.
Some of us have, in fact, one of them stopped talking when we asked about him. And I said, "I'm just going to ask one more question. Are you going to be in trouble now?" And he said, "Yes." Some of them have told us that this entity is what keeps them from moving on. But she is extremely active because of all those entities. They all have stories to tell, and hopefully you'll get to hear some of them tonight. We hear them all on a very, very regular basis.
Whoa.
What's up?
What was that? I just heard something like history here.
Like in front of you, or
Like in this right here, in this corner right here. I don't see any pipes or anything that would be hissing. That was bizarre. Whoa. I don't see any pipes or anything that would be hissing. That was bizarre. Whoa. I don't see any pipes or anything that would be hissing. That was bizarre. Yeah, we're headed down to the berthing units here where the soldiers would actually sleep. And as we walk through this walkway right here, just leaving base camp, I heard this weird hiss. I mean, I know for sure my camera had to pick that up.
It was that close. It was like more than 3 or 4 feet away from me.
Yeah, it was right after you went around the corner, Steve.
Huh.
Whoa.
I just did.
I heard something back here.
Whoa. There you go.
Down the
Hello?
surgery hallway. Are you standing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, after you walked away, Dave, something sounded off in there. Then there was like a, like this, kind of like that, but a lot lower in volume, right back in here.
Are you standing here?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there somebody in there?
Never heard that back here. Like a little hallway back to surgery.
That was weird.
Yeah.
We haven't even made it there yet. Coming into the mess. I turned my night shot off right now, Steve.
Okay.
Dawn. I'm gonna,
5, 6, 7.
I think he said 7. Hey, Dawn. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What? I heard something above us.
We're trying to get Dawn to kill the power guys.
4,
He's in his office. Oh well.
What was that?
What was it?
It's like a squeaker.
Sound like a door. Mm-hmm.
What was that?
What was it?
Are there any sailors down here? Is this ship still your home? How often did you sail across the Mediterranean? How often did you sail across the Mediterranean?
You are here with us. Could you please let us know somehow? If that was you, could you make that sound one more time, please? We sincerely appreciate your service. We'd love to hear you. We'd love to meet you.
Oh, here you go. Temperature drop and barometric pressure change.
I was just about to say that it was getting really cold in here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go close to that device again? Just reach out and touch it. You can actually push it over if you want. If you don't want it there, if it's on your rack, then you can throw it off if you want. Over there on the other side of your rack is our friend Jason. He has a device in his hand that might be able to pick up your voice.
Were you brought here because of the earthquake?
That's a different sound.
What's wrong? Dude, something just blew right on the top of my head.
Are you serious?
Yes.
There's nothing there that would have done
What was
it.
that?
What?
Did you just hear that?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes.
There's nothing there that would have done
What was that?
What'd you hear, Jason?
Voice or breath or something.
There's nothing there that would have.
That was creepy. That was weird. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak out.
No, you're good. Feel something blow on the top of your head, it's a natural reaction. But I don't think there's anything up there.
No, there's not.
Everything's turned off.
Are you over by Dave? That's his name. He's Dave. This is Ryan, Steve. My name's Jason.
Did you just blow into my hair?
The energy's picking up a little bit down here.
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
Are you Greek? Did you get hurt during an earthquake? There's a device in my left hand. If you walk up to it, you can make the lights light up.
What was that?
Yeah, that was really loud.
What was that?
Kind of loud.
That was really loud.
I feel like we're being watched. If that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. So right now we're in surgical. There's a lot of history with this area. Of course, the USS Salem had issues with a lot of death being related to medical issues. It was used as a medical ship whenever an earthquake hit Greece. They probably would have done a lot of surgeries in here. So Dave is running the Estes method right now in the doorway. We're going to see if we can get any responses in surgical where possibly a lot of these people could have lost their lives. Is there anyone here with us right now? My name is Ryan. That is Jason over there. That is Steve in the doorway. And then over here in that doorway behind me, that's Dave. Can you tell us your name?
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
can you take us from here real quick?
Yeah. There's also 2 devices on the table over there. If you touch those, they'll light up. So far, I've heard nothing. We just want to have a little bit of a conversation. You don't have to be afraid to talk to us. We're not gonna try and pry any secrets out or anything. What we want to do is learn about your life on this ship. What was that?
I wonder if he moved or not.
What was that?
I wonder if he moved or not. Where'd Steve go?
I have no idea. He just said, "Can you run this for me?" and he just walked off.
It's kind of a little different.
I don't know where he went. Maybe should I go find him? Dave. Yeah. One of us is gonna go try and look for Steve.
Where is Steve?
He handed me this camera and said, "Can you run this?" and then just walked off.
Why? I don't know. It was kind of weird.
I don't know. You want to bring that camera in here and let it sit and we go find him?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We decided to search for Steve as a team to find out where he went and why he walked off without explaining where he was going. We also decided to move our static camera into the surgical room to film the REM pod and the EDI plus meter while we were out searching. In the process of relocating the camera, in this moment,
Here, go by me. Get that set up.
Jason's digital audio recorder captures what may be one of the most intelligent spirit voices we have captured in years, and it seems to know we're leaving the room.
Here, go by me. Get that set up. Here.
This voice was not audible to our ears, and it wasn't captured on the audio of either of the 3 cameras. It seems like this woman was trying to talk to us by speaking directly into Jason's voice recorder.
Here. What do you see?
No, but I thought it was yours.
Hey, Steve.
Let's go find him, man. What's going on? I don't know. He went to the right.
He may have went back to the base. Steve.
I just heard something in here.
Where the is he? This got me a little apprehensive.
Is that outside? No. Wait, that is open.
What?
Is that outside? Steve?
Remember what Don said happened to him?
And what I remember about that night was that next thing I know, she was kind of punching me on the arm. And I said, what are you doing? She said, are you all right? And it had been about 20 minutes that I had just been kind of standing there. And I actually had a little bit of blood on my palms because I had been making fists so tight that my nails dug into my palms.
I hope he's not being affected by the same.
Let's go check the deck. Okay.
Steve? Oh, thank God. Hey, where are you?
As we were investigating the surgical room, Steve began to feel very nauseous, like he was going to vomit. He handed me the camera and hurried to get a garbage bag from the restroom before he got sick. He was in the restroom for about 30 minutes, and in that time, the nausea began to pass. When he left without saying anything, we assumed the worst and thought Steve may have been affected the way Dawn had been. It's important to note that Steve did not believe this sudden fit of nausea has anything to do with the supernatural. Until he fully recovers, we'll have to continue without him in the sick bay.
I want to try something.
Our friend Jason here is sick. He needs medical attention, quickly. Are there any medics on duty? Can you come and help him out? I just heard something off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard something off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, really ill and needs some medical attention.
Need some help. Can someone tell a nurse that I need some help in here? I can't move.
What?
I feel like something just touched the side of my neck. That was weird.
Like a hand or what?
It was like a little, like a tickle. Like right down here on the side of my neck.
That's strange.
And I wasn't moving, so I know it wasn't my hair tickling my neck.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
That is very strange.
Too cold for bugs, for sure. It's almost freezing temperature. I'm not the one who's injured. It's this gentleman here laying on the bed. Laying on the cot.
Can you make a knocking sound and let us know that you're here?
The camera's flashing with the battery.
Oh, is it?
What was that?
My hip.
Oh, God, that's creaky. Maybe we should call you a nurse instead. Yeah, it's almost out.
Just think about being injured and being in here on this ship, laying here, and possibly being in a situation you've got someone else who's fighting for their life right here next to you.
Yeah.
That would be hell.
Yes, it would. So Steve and I are heading down to
third mess hall.
To the mess hall. And Ryan and Jason are going over to dental. All right, so we just split up here. Jason and I are actually over in the dental area, and this is an area that Dawn and Jim both told us that, as well as Eva, told us that they believe the non-human or elemental or water spirit might reside. I thought I just heard movement down there. Could have been something interesting. Could have been something natural, though. And on our way down, we're going to stop into Dawn's office.
Yes.
So let's go. And Dave and Steve went down to the mess halls on the far end of the ship down there. So we did get permission to go into dental here. But unfortunately, they can't get the glass off of the door. So Dawn told us that we can just slide under the glass. So this is going to be an adventure getting in here in and of itself. So I'm going to set this down, and then I'll have Jason hand this over to me after I'm under the door.
We're down here near third mess hall, and we're waiting for Dawn to actually kill the entire source of power.
Yes.
Where we're at, and then once this goes dark, which means this is what we're going to see, until we turn on the night shot on the camera. So I'm going to have the EDI, the REM pod, and digital voice recorder.
Right.
So,
You're in.
okay. It's going to be weird if I just go start. Obviously, we know where we're at, but this is kind of a charged area.
This is a very charged area.
So, what do you think so far, Dave?
It's been an interesting night so far. Definitely has an interesting vibe. Oof. There it is.
Now you're with us.
That made me jump.
A little bit. I must say, it's very eerie.
Yes, it is.
Trying to figure out where to put my hands. That's how dark it is. I can't see. That's right in front of me.
All right. Don told us to come down here because he believes that this is where a spirit has hung out for quite a while, that he thinks likes to intimidate the other spirits on this boat. We'd love to communicate with you and have you tell us a little bit about you and where you came from.
Is there anybody down here with us? My name is Dave, and this is my friend Steve. And we've just come down here to speak with you. Can you tell us your name?
You're more than welcome to touch any of the equipment we have here. You can even knock things over if you'd like.
Like Ryan said, we have a number of devices in here that you can use to communicate with us. There's a little ball right here on the headrest, one on the tray, on the side of this chair. If you move those balls, they will actually flash, they will light up.
Then over here on the other side, right about here, we also have a device. If you get close to it, it'll light up like that.
There's some space for you. The thing is, we don't know. We could be talking to sailors. We could be talking to people that don't even know English. Because remember, this cruiser, the USS Salem, served during one of the biggest earthquakes over in the Mediterranean, right off the coast of Greece. And it's estimated 70, 80, who knows, people were brought from that destruction to this very ship. And that's how many they estimate actually passed away here on the ship. So we could be in the presence again of people who don't even know English.
For those of you that are here on the ship, if you wanted to do something funny, our friends, Dave and Steve, are down on the other side of the ship. They're down in mess. It would be interesting if you could go down there and bang on something or speak. See if you can freak them out. We can keep it our little secret.
Are you in here with us? Make a knocking sound. Thank you. Are you in here with us? Make a knocking sound. Thank you. Would you like us to leave? Was that you?
What was that?
That wasn't you?
No, I didn't move. What was you? What was that?
Are you upset that we're here? What was that?
I don't know. Something came over there. What was that? I don't know. Something came over there.
Tell us how you found your way onto this ship.
A while back, someone here told Don and the crew to meet the beast. Who was that? Person we've heard.
Yeah, sounds like movement. Is that you coming towards us?
Person we've heard.
Yeah, sounds like movement. We'd love to meet the beast. We'd also love to see what the beast can do. Whatever the beast is.
I'm just gonna kind of off balance there for a minute.
That's strange. What was that? Oh. That was my glove, I'm sorry. Hello? Are you picking up on anything?
There for a little bit.
It's kind of like it comes and goes, like very frequently.
Yeah. That's the best way to put that.
Come on now. You know how far we traveled from to come and visit you? That was a weird noise.
It was right over near you, over there.
Yeah.
chair or something.
That was like a high-pitched tap or a flicker or something. Can you move one of these devices that's right here on the chair? Make it fall off? That was a weird noise.
That was right over near you, over there.
Yeah.
Chair or something.
Alright, guys, so we're gonna head back and meet up with Ryan and Jason and see how their session went.
That's some good dad there.
Goddamn startled me. Oh, yeah, we were just now about to come back.
Anything yet?
Some possible knocks, maybe? Nothing on REM pod, nothing on EDI. Of course, this was running the whole time.
Yeah.
Strange vibe.
Yeah. Definitely.
Watch out, Steve.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that expression was priceless. As soon as he looked down, he was like, what the f? And then he looked down and you see my legs. Oh. Thought there's a crawler coming up on you.
Not cool.
That's right.
You're lucky I didn't turn around.
Alright, guys, so we're gonna head up to the bridge to do one final session and see if we can communicate with anybody before we take off for the night.
Yeah, it's kind of metaphorical here. We are headed up to the very top to get the best view in the entire ship to end the investigation, so.
That's right. Ready?
Let's head up, yep.
Everybody up?
Yeah.
One more after this.
Good, right.
Here we are.
Here we are.
A vessel like this one, you have to have the highest possible point to see everything, every angle that the ship could possibly take. Is there anyone up here that believes they're in command of this ship? Chief, are you up here?
Are there any high-ranking officers up here? If there are, would you please, if you want, reach out and touch this device right here in Dave's hand. It could possibly show us that you're here with us. Again, sir, if you want to only, that's all we ask.
Are you up here with us?
This was definitely an interesting night. I think that one part of the investigation, and I've noticed it with some other locations too, but a lot with this one, it was once we got back here from abandonment and we first started the investigation, it was like the activity and evidence was a lot stronger.
Oh, here we go. Temperature drop and barometric pressure change.
Dude, something just blew right on the top of my head.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And as we stayed on this vessel, on this ship, it seemed like we became accustomed to its energy and it became accustomed to ours, and the activity kind of slowed to its stopping point. And I mean, as you all saw watching at home, we haven't really gotten much activity towards the end of this investigation. It's been fairly quiet. So, but still, this is a really beautiful view up here.
As you know, you're watching the USS Salem in Quincy, Massachusetts. This is the United States Naval Shipbuilding Museum. We are the Greater Boston Paranormal Associates. And if you would like to book a tour of the Salem, you can go to uss-salem.org, or you can go to any of our many social media outlets, the Greater Boston Paranormal Associates or the USS Salem Paranormal Experience on Facebook. And you can always reach out to us that way. We'd love to see you. We have public investigations all throughout the spring, summer, and fall. And you will not regret your experience aboard the USS Salem. I can't promise anything other than that.